I was thinking about why so many in the radical left participate in speedrunning. The reason is the left's lack of work ethic. Go fast rather than do it right. Yes, because trying to perfect speedruns and trying to get the world record doesn't take hours or days or months, even years. And it takes substantially less time to just, beat a game or 100% a game. No, that's not how it works at all. And in a Petersonian sense, to elevate the alternate sexual archetypes in the marketplace. It's like the fastest Mario. Yeah, that's right, alpha males, you gotta watch out for the fastest Mario male. He's gonna steal your girl unless you do something. Obviously, there are exceptions to this, and some people in the center or right also speedrun. However, they more than sufficient to prove the rule, nice typo there, rather than contrast it. Consider how woke GDQ has been almost since the very beginning. Your eyes will start to open. Wow, yeah, you're really opening my eyes to this leftist speedrunning thing that they've got going on. This is a great argument. Returning to the topic of work ethic. A speedrunner may well spend hours a day at their craft, yes, but this is ultimately a meaningless exercise since they will ultimately accomplish exactly that which is done in a less collective time by a casual player. You're contradicting your points. You're saying that speedrunning, make it do it in the fastest way is you're contradicting yourself. You talked about how speedrunners the whole type thing is do it fast and that it takes no effort. And now you're saying that even though a speedrunner takes hours and hours to perfect their craft, if you just play the game, you'll get through it and beat the game in less time, normally. So you're contradicting yourself. Do you think it's faster or slower? I don't get your point at all. This is thus a waste of effort on behalf of the speedrunner. Wow, way to call speedrunning a waste of time, jerk. Put more simply, they're spending their work effort on something that someone else has already done and in a way deemed correct by the creator of the artwork. I wonder, has any creator actually come out against speedrunning? I haven't seen one. I guess games like Mario Brothers, Mario 64, they can't really do that, but I've never seen anyone say do not speedrun my game, do it the only possible way you can. And some games out there are meant for speedrunning. If you and you're still contradicting yourself, so good job. Anyway, why do they do this? Because it's a craft and they think it's fun? The answer is quite obvious if you think about it. The goal is the illusion of speed and the desire subconscious to promote radical leftist, borderline communist ideas of how easy work is. Everyone says the speedruns look easy. That is part of the aesthetic. You do realize that most people that speedrun stream hours of attempts and show how hard it actually is to get a good speedrun, right? Everything has to be perfect. Yeah, I guess it does look easy, but it's really hard to pull off, and most speedrunners go out of their way to explain that. Think about the phrase fully automated communism, luxury communism, in the context of speedrunning, and I strongly suspect that things will start to click in your mind. Yeah, it's really starting to click in my mind now. There's a clear and obvious connection between speedrunning and communism. Your argument is great. What happens to the individual in this? Individual accomplishment in speedrunning is simply waiting for another person to steer techniques in order to defeat you. Where is something like intellectual property or patent in this necessary commutation process? I hate to tell you that Most businesses steal techniques from other similar businesses in order to try and make a profit. Like, Disney's been doing it for years. Like, this isn't anything new. And plus, speedrunning is really, like, it's kind of a sport. It's kind of a competition. Like, many people, like, in sports and gaming and stuff like that, use techniques like this. They steal other people's techniques in order to try to use them to get ahead and try to use them in their own way. That speedrunning's no different, guy. And this is where I'm really interested in. Now, as to the sexual archetype model and speedrunning generally. Where's this connection? If you have any passing familiarity with Jordan Peterson's broader overture, or is that a word? Oeuvre. I was going to say oeuvre. And of Jungian psychology, you will likely already know where I'm going with this. I've only taken one psych class, so you've got me there. I will say more for the uninitiated. Yes, enlighten me, Conrad. Tell me about how a sexual archetype relates to speedrunning. I'm really curious. Keep this passage from Maps of Meeting, page 91, in mind. The archetypal son continually reconstructs defined territory as a consequence of the assimilation of the unknown as a consequence of incestuous and sexual recreative union with the Great Mother. What? You're comparing speedrunning to incest. What? How do those have any connection at all? Okay, keep going. In other words, there is a connection between sexuality and creativity that we see throughout time, as Peterson points out with the time mat and other examples. In the sexual marketplace, which archetypes are simultaneously deemed the most creative and valued the highest. Huh? The answer is obviously entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and others. Given that we evolved and each thing we do must have evolutionary purpose or cause, what archetype is the speedrunner engaged in who is accomplishing nothing new? They are accomplishing new. They're getting new world records. They're getting faster times to complete games. And plus, there are a lot of businesses that don't make nothing new. They just do things in their own way and hope that people will buy it. That happens in any form of media, any form of business. They are aiming to make a new sexual archetype. Yeah, you still haven't explained that, aside from randomly relating speedrunning to incest for no reason. They are aiming to make a new sexual archetype based upon speed rather than doing things right, and refuse ownership of what few innovations they can provide to their own scene, denying creativity within their own sexual archetype. What part of this is a sexual archetype? You haven't explained that. This is necessary. And how is it left? You have a very vague explanation, and I'm still not following. You're connecting things together for no reason. The obvious protest to this would be the glitchless 100% run. No, I think that's the opposite of what you're going for, which in many ways does aim to play the game as intended, but seems to simply add the element of speed to the equation. This objection is ultimately meaningless when one considers how long a game is intended to be played. How long a game is intended to be played. What creator even went under the 100% condition? No creator openly goes out of their way to tell you how long exactly you're supposed to be in the game. Like, if I made a 3D platformer, you're supposed to spend exactly like a full week playing it, like 24 hour, 48 hour, 24/7, like that much time. Like, and if you try to complete it, if you try to complete it less than that, you're a fraud and a scam, and you're obviously a leftist commie. That's obviously how it works. And apparently, you also bang your mother. I don't. You haven't explained anything. You haven't explained anything. You've just related speedrunning to incest and communism with no evidence, only like the smallest veil of evidence. You still haven't connected them all at all, and you've pretty much just insulted an entire community of doing something that they find enjoy in because you personally don't like it, probably. Like, I don't know how any of this relates to the things that you claim that it is. By now, I am sure that I have bothered a number of you and rustled quite a few of your feathers. Maybe because you insulted their craft. Maybe because you insulted their craft and related it to incest. Maybe that's probably it. But I am not saying that speedrunning is bad. You basically did. But rather that, thinking about the topic philosophically, there are dangerous elements within it. That is... how? You haven't explained how is it dangerous? How is speedrunning hurting anyone? How is speedrunning showing propaganda of something that you don't like? You only have the... Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced. Good job.